Welcome to Ebony Barrett. She is a candidate for school board for the Lafayette School District. And Ms. Barrett, why don't you take a few minutes and just introduce yourself to your voters?
Absolutely. So my name is Ebony Barrett, and I actually use they, them pronouns, so I go by Mix Barrett. I have been a resident of Lafayette area for approximately 20 years, which it sounds wild every time I say that. But I've been here for a while now. I have three children, three boys. One is an LSC Lafayette Jeff grad. I've got a senior at Jeff this year and a sophomore. And in my day job, I'm a D&I consultant with IU Health for the West Central region. And I also manage a executive management consulting group, which is a business consulting firm where we work on leadership coaching and development, as well as, of course, inclusion, business development, things of that nature.
Okay, thank you
Ebony
very
in the rock.
much. Um, I want to ask you what you would see as a school board member's role in managing the corporation. How should school board members relate to the administration, to the faculty, to the students, to the families?
Absolutely. So I think that sometimes there are some misunderstandings as to what the school board's role is. As a board, we are responsible more for that oversight. So ensuring that there is a strategic plan, that it aligns with some goals, but not so much in the day-to-day details of how these things get accomplished. So in terms of our relationship with administration, we're there to be a partner. Also to be a partner with faculty, with staff, and to empower students is really what is important to me. So how do we operate in a way that opens up opportunities for our teachers to do what they tend to in regard to that day to day, but to equip those that have that education with the tools necessary to carry it out. So really thinking about the idea of doing some visioning, doing a lot of listening, encouraging engagement, finding ways to help take all of those voices into account and come up with something that's going to maximize on impact for our students. Because at the end of the day, it's about how do we create an environment that's going to make our students successful. And by success, I mean, how do we help them reach their full potential? I think through the process, it is responsibility of public education to provide those basics, but also to help kids understand how they connect to their community. Because at some point in time, I would like to see some of our students in LSE be sitting in this position, having an interview with someone from League of Women Voters, because they're getting engaged in their community in a way that matters.
Thank you so much. I have a fill in the blank question for you next. The public schools are blank.
Okay. I think I have a delay fill in the blank question.
We have a fill in the blank question. The public schools are blank.
Awesome. I think public schools are awesome. I don't know if you want me to give more than that.
You are welcome to give as much as you want.
Okay, I think public schools are awesome. I think that we hear a lot of negativity in terms of public schools. And while we have work to do, we have so many strengths, especially in terms of our particular school corporation. I intentionally live within the borders of LSC because I knew that it was going to provide my children, no matter what their personality, what they're excited about, opportunities to explore things that are near and dear to them. So I told you I have three boys. They're vastly different people, vastly different personalities, and they've all found their way of connecting and getting involved, whether through athletes or clubs. I just feel like there's so much to offer in LSC, and It doesn't get talked about enough. So that's one of my favorite things, is to kind of be an ambassador and be a cheerleader and say, hey, this school corporation is great.
Thank you. I liked your expanding on, you liked your answer, but I like the expansion too. Um, would you see your role on the school board as mainly representing what your constituents want, or maybe expressing your own perspective more?
I think there's opportunities to share some of my perspective, but it's really about thinking about what is important to our constituents, at the same time balancing what's going to be best in terms of getting to those goals. I'm a very measurement and goal driven person. So it's around having those conversations that allow us to say, okay, I understand that you want this. How does this drive us towards meeting this goal that we agreed upon together? And so there has to be some balance there. Of course, I have opinions about things in my perspective, but that doesn't overshadow getting towards the end target or that end goal. I think the other piece of it is that there there can be situations where, you know, you have people that have two sides of an argument, and there's a lot of opportunity to folks often say compromise. I think you can also get win-wins out of some of this situation. Everything doesn't have to be that I'm giving up something to get something. And so I think there's opportunities for us to help build common understanding around where we're going and to help people figure out how to align.
You. School finances are very complex, mostly due to state regulation. Have you done anything to prepare yourself to start on a budget day one? Have you taken any trainings? Have you spent any time studying the finances?
So I am in the process of still studying the finances because it is very complicated, as you said. So I was appointed to the school board to end out a term. I started in November. And during my first month, I took some time to meet with each of our administrators. I spent quite a bit of time with Mr. Collum, trying to learn more about what each of these line items are, what cycles look like, how that works. I've continued to go to national school board conferences, participate in our state school board conferences. And really a lot of it is about asking questions. I will tell you honestly, transparently, finance is not something that I have expertise in. So it does take a lot of asking and listening and learning and continuing on that journey.
Thank you. School boards have recently become what seems to be a focal point of outside organizations and hot button social issues.
Mhm.
Um, is there anything that you could propose as a school board member that would make it easier to hear your constituents over any outside groups that are just bringing in those issues?
So are you talking about outside groups as in like they are not part of our community?
Yes.
Okay, because I wanted to clarify, because I want to address that first. Um, Folks that are wanting to have a voice outside of our community, I think we do have some caveats for that in terms of our policy. So when we talk about having folks present and asking them to share what their name is, what their address is, really understanding who is speaking and what concerns they have. I am not a big proponent of silencing voices, even in terms of those that may disagree with me. I think what it really comes down to is getting to a level of civility. And so while I mean, it's not necessarily my goal to drown out voices, regardless of where they're coming from, it is my goal, again, to focus, redirect actual conversation back to what our goals are and really aligning to a strategic plan that allows us to say, this is the direction we're going in. We can disagree on how to get there, but we have to have all those voices at the table in order to come up with solutions that are actually going to make the most impact.
Thank you. Are there any issues that I haven't brought up that you think that your voters deserve to know about?
In terms of issues, I don't know if I will call it an issue, but I would say that a goal that I have is to continue. I've been talking about. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity to help folks understand how school boards work, how policy gets passed, how to bring concerns in a way that's constructive. I think there are a lot of people that have a lot to offer, but may not necessarily understand the system by which things occur. And so I think there's some opportunity to get to a better level of transparency by folks understanding the process, but also participating in the process and realizing that sometimes our systems and our processes don't work, right? So what are we thinking about in terms of, hey, what voices aren't we hearing? Why aren't we hearing those voices? And do we have policies and practices that are creating the situation where we're not getting the right voices at the table? So then we need to take a look at those things. I am 100% about transparency, authenticity, and having as many voices at the table so that we can make informed decisions. So going back to that question you asked earlier about my opinion versus other folks' opinion or the constituents that I'm serving, I have those opinions. I have a level of expertise in certain areas when it comes to things like HR, recruiting, business development, leadership skills, team effectiveness, things of that nature. Those are things that I know a lot about from my educational background that I can bring to the table. And so looking at how we're doing what we're doing and saying, maybe that's not a best practice. Let's talk about how we do this from a policy standpoint. Or, hey, you guys, here's a wonderful opportunity for us to provide to our administration or to some of our educators that can help sharpen some skills. I think that's key to our success.
Thank you very much. This was Ebony Barrett, and she's running for Lafayette School Corporation School Board. Thank you very much for your time, Ms. Barrett.